When you walk into a model home, you notice how beautiful the home looks, and it never seems like you can get your home to look exactly the same, because you don't know all the details that go into making that model home look the way it does. It may be that the molding's a little bit taller on the wall. It may be that they use flat paint rather than satin. It may be that there's uplighting behind some of the furniture or plants. All you know is that your brain notices how perfect the house looks. It's the same way with clothing. We live in a wash and wear world, and that's usually perfectly fine. But sometimes you want that added detail. Maybe you're going for a job interview, or maybe you're going for a special occasion. You just want your clothes to look a little bit better. Why pay someone to iron a shirt for you? It takes less than 10 minutes, and it's very easy to do once you know the process. The reason that I know the process is I was raised by a woman who spent her life working in her aunt's boutique in Cherry Creek. So I was taught at a very young age how to iron a shirt, how to organize clothing, and how to fold as well. So I've been ironing clothes, well, many, many more years than I would like to admit. The first thing you need to understand is that there are many different materials, and your iron should have a dial on it that shows you which temperature for which clothing. All you really need to know is that the iron has high, medium, and low settings. For high, you use cotton and linen. And you also want to use spray and steam with cotton and linen. Now my iron has both a spray and a steam button, but you can get a spray bottle if you don't have spray or steam. It's not an expensive iron. It cost me less than $20 at Target, and I think that would cost you, let's see, would that be 2 dry clean shirts? Maybe 3. So it's worth the investment. Now if you're ironing permanent press, you can use a medium temperature, and for silk you want to use a low temperature. For cotton and linen, you need a lot of spray and steam in order to get the wrinkles out. Now the other thing you need to understand is the process. When ironing a shirt, you always want to start with the smallest piece and work to the biggest piece. This is because if you work with the bigger pieces before the smaller ones, you may end up re-wrinkling the shirt when you iron the smaller pieces. So, for that reason, we're going to start with the collar, which is basically the smallest piece on the shirt, because we're going to consider the cuff part of the sleeve. Now when you iron the collar of a shirt, you never want to iron the side that folds down and back. You always want to iron the back of the collar. So we're going to do that first. And what you want to do is lay it out and try to get all the wrinkles out. And then you're going to use, you can hear my steam going, you want to pull on the other side of the collar as you iron. And that is all there is to ironing the collar. Now the next step is to iron the yoke of the shirt. So what you do is you put the shoulder over the front of the iron, and when you iron, you need to know that you should have a good quality padded ironing board pad so that the ironing goes smooth. Okay, now you're going to iron the yoke, and you're going to go into the shoulder and back around the back of the yoke. And if you see a wrinkle, you're just going to go back and press it out very quickly. If you're not getting a wrinkle out, you can use a little bit of spray, and that's why you have the water next to you when you iron. Now once you get that yoke done, you're going to do the other half. Again, make sure the shirt is spread out and there's no wrinkles. And then you'll press the other side, making sure to get right up to the collar. Now this has pleats on the shoulders rather than in the center of the back like some shirts do. So while you're doing the yoke, you want to make sure and just press that down. If it was in the center, I would do it here. Okay, now the next piece you're going to do is the next biggest piece, and that would be the sleeve. What you're going to do for the sleeve is you're going to make sure that it's spread out smoothly on the board, and you're going to make sure the seam is flat. You want the seam at the bottom of the sleeve so that when you wear the shirt, the crease is right where it belongs in the middle of the shirt. Okay, now the first thing you're going to iron is the cuff, and you just press down as you move. Always keep your iron moving. You never want to keep the iron in one place because it will burn the shirt. Then you go up the shirt and pull so you make sure you keep the wrinkles out for the seam. You can hear the steam going. And you're going to iron your sleeve. Now I have one little wrinkle left there, so I'm going to spray it and press it out. And that is one sleeve done. I'm not going to do the other sleeve for the sake of time, but of course you would want to do both of them. Now, when you get to the front of the shirt, which is going to be the piece you're going to do after the two sleeves, you again want to iron it from the underside on the button seam. Just start from the bottom, pull from the top, and press up. Then you're going to put your shirt on your ironing board. Now I always start for an adult shirt, you can't fit the whole side on the ironing board. One thing you want to watch, if you see the collar, it doesn't lay flat here. So you want to take your iron and just press into that a little bit so that it lays down a little smoother. Then you're going to take the side and you're just going to start from the bottom, moving side to side and pressing down and going up the shirt. You'll need to pull up by the corner of the shoulder so that you get that iron. Once that's done, you move the shirt over a little bit so that you can get under the arm, and you put a little bit of the back of the shirt on the ironing board so that you can make that transition from front to back clean and there won't be any wrinkles in the middle. Iron under the arm and down the sleeve, down the seam, I'm sorry, to the back. Again, I'm not going to do both sides because we need to make this go a little bit faster so you can see everything that's going on. So when you get to the back, you can see the hem curls up here. If you're not going to tuck your shirt in, you want to make sure that seam is down. And my mother would have told you that it needs to be ironed whether you're going to see it or not. Now this is very wrinkled, so I am spraying the whole back down, and then I'm going to press into the shoulder underneath the seam because I already ironed that seam and I don't want to iron it from this side. It may cause wrinkles. Now I'm going to go side to side down and press, and when I get to the bottom I'm going to use the whole side of the iron to press that seam flat. And you're going to work over the entire back of the shirt until you're done. Now, two things you want to remember when you're done. You want to hang the shirt back up on a hanger and make sure you don't crowd it in your closet. If you do, it's going to get wrinkled again. Also, if you're going to wear it that day, you could hang it in the bathroom while you take a shower, and the steam will help the wrinkles stay out of your shirt, and it'll look great when you put it on. And you're ready to go to your job interview. So go get that job. Congratulations.